If any of the information stated causes a sense of negative reaction, I would recommend not watching the video or coming back at a later time. This video is made to spread awareness about Lo or Oliver, specifically harmful and dangerous behaviors harming others and even herself. Do not go out of your way to harass anyone mentioned in this video, as it not only does not help the situation at hand but will likely lead to more harm than good. I'm not fluent when it comes to my Spanish, but I will try to translate it to the best of my abilities. Information being used comes from various documents as well as many testimonies. Video quality may be a large issue within this video, specifically when it comes to the audio. My speaking is not the best and my recording may have background noise due to not having a proper microphone, and there will likely be issues with audio balancing. Lo and/or Oliver is a creator in the Invadersnim community, stated to be 20 years old in this document. Apparently this comes from her bio, which I will state that I also vividly remember. There's also this screenshot for further clarification. She is a Yumi shipper, specifically self-shipping with Zim. Zim is canonically an adult, which is something I just now want to preface here, though it won't be very relevant. She makes edits and art pertaining to this, which is something she acknowledges herself.
Yume shippers por mis dibujos y edits.
A Yumi shipper is an individual who has a dream relationship with a specific character. Yum meaning dream or dreaming, and ship meaning relationship. This is an umbrella term with multiple different types of relationships pertaining to it: romantic, familial, platonic, and many more. Though not every individual who views a character in these specific categories is automatically a Yum shipper. Stated in Vera's Google document along with screenshots, Lo on December 21st, 2025 would post 2 stories. These would discuss about a situation between her and a user known as Pip, aka Pip in a Bag, stating she was blocked by Pip despite admiring his work, evidently not taking it too well. Following up on that, Pip would respond DMing Lo and answering her questions, stating that he is a non-sharing Yumi shipper. A non-sharing Yumi shipper is an individual who does not interact with other people who have the same dream relationship with the same character. This includes not wanting to be interacted with and not interacting with them. Most non-sharers often block their doubles, this way they can pertain to their own space. This is a personal preference for that specific individual and a boundary. Lo would respond clearly not being able to understand why that type of boundary is necessary, saying that Pip can control who views them romantically, which is a huge but very common misconception, as Pip has never stated that people can't view them as such, only stating they have a boundary. Lo would go on to say that they really like Pip, wanting to be his friend, taking Pip's self-ship as an example for her own. Pip would go on to clear up the misconception, stating that he acknowledges it and stating that he's just uncomfortable with seeing other self-shippers. He didn't want to hurt anyone's feelings and does not mean to offend. Lo would misinterpret this, accusing Pip of not wanting to see other people happy simply over-shipping, questioning if it's that or if he just doesn't like her, which Pip clearly stated that wasn't his intention. She essentially insinuates that Pip is overreacting, basically saying if her expressing happiness makes Pip so uncomfortable. Pip would try and correct this again, stating that he's just uncomfortable with other self-shippers in his circle and he's allowed to block doubles and keep his peace, apologizing for hurting Lo's feelings. Lo would restate that Pip's overreacting, stating that Pip is a hypocrite for pertaining to similar behavior yet is uncomfortable when others do the same. Pip elaborates, saying it's just a boundary and if another person had a similar boundary, he'd respect it. Lo then accuses Pip of apathy towards people that appreciate him, stating she wasn't trying to inflict anything negative because of her ship and only wants to admire Pip's work again. Lo would then go on to say people who react in such a way pain her. Pip states he's completely aware of Lo's intentions and restates he wasn't trying to inflict anything negative either, once again trying to keep his peace. Lo would state that Pip is horrible for that. Lo would go on to reiterate that Pip's overreacting and that she's allowed to judge other self-shippers just as much as he is, saying that Pip blocked her for her support and appreciation all because she's a Zim Yumi shipper. Pip then clarifies that Lo missed the mark entirely. Boundaries are an integral element of a person and what they are willing to do or abide by, essentially making it clear what's too overwhelming or inducing for them. Once a boundary is broken, it can lead to heavy consequences, as it can cause emotional distress and may tarnish a relationship between the two parties involved. A friend of Pip, user IDon'tKnowGang004, would message Lo about the situation. They would ask about the situation between her and Pip, stating that Pip alleged possible stalking. which considering the context of the two's conversation wouldn't be too far-fetched. Lo would reiterate that she appreciated Pip's work and admired his content, but Pip blocked her, calling Pip a bitch and an ungrateful wench, which is not at all what the conversation led up to. Here's a conversation between I Don't Know Gang and Pip that was shown in the document. I Don't Know Gang says that they need evidence, due to the fact that Lo may do worse in the future. Pip then asks if she has said anything else about the situation. I Don't Know Gang states that they should probably make posts about the situation before it blows out of proportion. Pip then states that he's anxious, thinking it would only make the situation worse. I Don't Know Gang mentions a story posted by Lo stating that she's going to dox Pip. Pip then asks them to double check. Doxing is an act of leaking personal information to the public without that individual's consent. This could lead to the individual being stalked, harassed, and threatened. Most people who have been doxed online experience phone calls, being swatted, and even having people show up to their house uninvited. The after effects of doxing can lead to PTSD and intense paranoia. After the situation between her and Pip, she would make a concerning post, specifically about carving the name of the character she is Yumi shipping with, Invader's Zim, into her shoulder. The document creator, Vera, would DM Lo, wanting to clear things up and help his friend. Something I forgot to bring up was the fact that once I started talking about the document, Lo started blaming Vera for her actions. Here's that comment and the translation. In fact, Vera started it all by saying those things about me. A person's reaction or contribution to a matter should not determine how you act. That is a decision and responsibility for you which you must be held accountable for on your own. Vera would ask if this is truly necessary, and Lo would respond, essentially restating that she admires Pip too much and Pip blocking her really hurt her feelings, stating that she wasn't trying to stalk him, she just wants to know why he blocked her. Lo then proceeds to show images and states that she's starting doing it. Vera, realistically repulsed by it, would then ask why she sent that to him. Lo apologizes and reiterates again. Vera tells Lo that she needs to get professional help. Lo would clarify that she only sent it because of how much it affected her, essentially threatening if Pip doesn't like her, she'll continue on. Vera asked if she understands the extent of her actions. Lo apologizes once again, saying that it was just venting, which Vera responds, saying that's not venting. Lo states specifically for her, yes it is. Vera asks why she's harming herself and if it's over being blocked by Pip. Lo would clarify, Vera's assumption is correct. Vera says that's insane. Vera would ask if she's being serious. Lo would essentially amplify the threat claim. Vera then asked why she's insulting Pip, and Lo tries to play dumb. A screenshot is sent. Lo then tries to accuse Vera of insulting Pip, trying to insinuate hypocrisy. She then says that the insult wasn't directed at Pip. Vera states otherwise. Later into the situation, Lo would try to tank it, essentially being apathetic towards the situation, showing her true colors. This is very different from the previous conversations. Here's a conversation of this user stating that Lo is accusing Pip of liking ZDR. But that's not what Lo says, as she only mentions her self-ship. A small miscommunication, or maybe we're missing some context. The user in question is known as Frankie. Lo sends them more. Considering the conversation, it's likely Lo is essentially trying to rage bait, which doesn't really work in this type of situation. A speculation within the doc claims that Lo is trying to play victim and is victim blaming others. The explanation for this comes from how Lo steers the conversations. Lo blames Pip for her own actions and essentially tries to frame Pip as ungrateful. When she's confronted, she pulls an act of emotional distress, yet when caught, reacts disgustingly to those individuals, trying to frame them as hypocrites while also lying mid-argument and trying to backtrack by using more insults, acting as if she's in a state of emotional distress while also being extremely apathetic to those who confront her and the situation itself. Within the document, there would be a conversation where Lo admits that she likes kids. She states specifically from the ages of 5 to 16 years old. Reminder that Lo is 20 and even states that in this conversation. This screenshot comes from a conversation between Lo and Danny, which I may have mispronounced that. Here's a screenshot I have that goes along with this evidence. Lo is saying this on an OCX canon post of mine. The ape in question is 12 years old. Lo would further confirm this by stating this, as well as using the common age is just a number argument. What adds on to that concern would be a post by Mary Kate, stating that Lo posted CSEM material of a SMEAT, which is a baby in Irkin terms. Dude, Lo literally showed NSFW content of a SMEAT, and I couldn't give less of a damn of what those ass kissers who worship Lo say. Like, but the group is NSFW, so listen up for those of you who don't know Invaderism. A SMEAT equals a baby. Did you hear that? A baby. And on top of that, she tells you to get lost if you don't like it, claiming that she does it as a way to vent. Vent? You bitch? Seriously, dude? You're trying to play victim and even justify your repulsive actions by acting like it's our fault. When really, you're just a psycho who should never have been allowed on the internet in the first place. But of course you got all those morons defending her, deluding themselves into thinking she's somehow redeemable, when clearly she isn't. Honestly, I can just picture them now, realizing that if they keep defending her, they're the ones who are going to end up with their accounts getting trashed, or even having their phone numbers leaked. Here's a post from Mary with the evidence. Why the hell do you guys watch or join the group just to react like that? I told you, if it makes you uncomfortable, you should get the hell out to avoid any problems. Why isn't that a baby? If you don't like it, get out. That drawing isn't mine, I got it from Twitter. Fucking piece of shit. What? Guys, I'm not a I do this kind of stuff to vent just because of everything you all put me through. I would never feel any attraction towards children. If you don't know the facts, please don't comment, especially from Michael's channel. I posted about Mary's testimony on my second account. Here is what Lo had to say. What? I never did that. So why is it being brought up? Surely there must be some correlation if people are so certain about it. If not, could you prove it? Here's another screenshot from the document with Val, aka Biggest Jerk. What the fuck is that shit? The truth is what Val said. Lo then proceeds to call Pip a needy virgin. Reminder that Pip is a minor. Lo depicts a lot, even in her drawings, as seen previously. When confronted about the changes made to her avatar, she would say this, which by the way is completely incorrect, and I'll give a rundown on that. This ideology likely comes from the false fiction is in effect reality propaganda, which is something I have covered time and time again. The reason this doesn't work is because a screen can't protect anyone at all, even if the content in question isn't real. This is because they're still being exposed to that subject, and therefore, considering how Lo uses her self-harm as a way to guilt trip others, it would also be glorified. Especially because she tries to normalize it. As most of us would know, Lo has a child audience and interacts a lot with children. Children are very impressionable, and that's something that should be noted. Considering Lo's intent behind creating this type of content, it would no doubt be extremely harmful, especially to those who are being exposed by it, and likely will be desensitized by it. It may lead to individuals to neglect those who were struggling mentally, or to do it themselves. This section is more of a nitpick than anything, but Lo often fantasizes about sexual situations between her character and Zim. And the reason I bring this up in particular is because of this post that Lo makes. My friend doesn't know this one about Oliver. Oliver is immortal in his human form. He can only die if he is struck by a cross or if the Bible is recited to him. Clearly, Lo cares about the facts and, of course, the canon when it comes to specific characters. Speaking of which, canonically, Urkins don't have the anatomy for such acts, considering that they reproduce through a cloning system. Here are some extra testimonies I've seen. Freaking out over pixels isn't healthy. Sincerely, the lesbian and autistic sharing, who used to arms and send photos to minors on TikTok saying, "You guys made me do this." She also drew her OC with cuts, all while harassing me via alt accounts across various social media platforms, calling me mentally disturbed just because I told her I felt uncomfortable being tagged in every single one of her posts about her ship, which is hideous by the way. Her OC looks like a ripoff of that one little girl from Fairly Odd Parents. When I asked her to stop, she just harassed me even more relentlessly, especially after I blocked her on Instagram. Oh, and that's not all, she also doxed a minor and made some pretty inappropriate comments about him. I'm honestly surprised your fans are so stupid, or maybe their brains are just so thoroughly brainwashed by you that they have no clue what you're hiding behind those glasses of yours, or do they? I find it quite ironic that you, someone who claims to be a sharing, are actually far worse than any non-sharing Yumi shipper. Spending all your time harassing people, you'll probably hide in the comments section of this post, saying stuff like, "Yeah, ooh." but there are already quite a few people standing against you now, armed with real evidence and real experiences. I really hope your parents see the absolute shit their daughter gets up onto online. Because if your dad actually raised you right, like you love to brag about on your stories, none of this would be happening. But no, you just love playing dumb online because, hey, the people seem to love watching you make a complete fool of yourself anyways. So what's the point now? Are you going to tell your little buzzies and followers that I'm a piece of shit? That I'm the one harassing you? Are you going to up again just so you can pin the blame on me? Go look at yourself in the mirror first and ask yourself this: am I really okay in the head? What other degree of autism do I have? Anyway, block this crazy nutcase. You never know, she might just drag you guys into it, even though you have absolutely nothing to do with her smear campaign. And as for me, Zimix me is canon. I absolutely hate Lo. I have to admit it's my fault, though, because that stupid girl's stalking my friend, Rexy, which I might have mispronounced that. Oh well, what can you do? I swear she did this all for her TikTok blog. She's seriously sick. Love would make a short video talking about the situation, possibly even sharing some more information. I saw this video previously and it introduced me to the situation, though I only skimmed it, which was very neglectful on my part. Here's the video and a bit of a translation. Hello everyone, I'm Lo, also known as Oliver. Those of you in the Invaders and fandom, especially the Yumi shippers, might recognize me from my drawings and edits. I wanted to take this opportunity to address what I've been going through, specifically the accusations and the controversy surrounding me, including the claim that I'm a pet. Here is what happened. I reached out to a user named Pip to resolve a minor issue I had with her. However, Pip spoke to me in a hostile manner, simply because I Yumi ship was them, and ended up blocking me. Afterwards, she went and told her friend Vera, as well as all her other friends, that I harassed her, when in reality, I just wanted to resolve this issue. Consequently, all of Pip's followers and friends began messaging me privately to hurl insults and say nasty things to me. It reached the point where they mocked issues that were deeply painful for me. Consequently, and without thinking, simply to get them to leave me alone, I sent them photos of my arms. I had already asked them to stop bothering me beforehand, yet they persisted regardless. As for the things I said about Pip, I also blur those out without thinking. It truly saddens me that someone I had supported would block me. It was a poor choice on my part, and I am deeply sorry for it. Regarding those drawings, they were requested by Alex, an ex-friend of mine, whom I had also supported. However, while I was supporting him, he would say horrible things about me and insult me behind my back. Alex, claiming to be an adult, even pressured me, constantly asking for updates on the progress of the drawing, because he genuinely wanted to see them. Naturally, I drew them depicting adults, yet once I finished the artwork, showed it to Alex, he had lied to me all along, admitting that he was actually a minor. When I tried to properly explain the situation to him, Alex insulted me to my face, threatened to expose me, and then blocked me. I felt absolutely terrible because I never got the chance to properly explain things to him. I also want to clarify that I am 14 years old, myself. It even seemed at times as though Alex himself wanted to ship us together, though I didn't give it much thought at the time. After all this is unfolded, I am incredibly sorry both to those I've said directly and to those I didn't, but especially to Lem. She found out about this entire situation in the worst possible way. If you're reading this, dear Lem, I want to offer my sincerest apologies, especially if you were shown everything completely out of context, or if I or others made you feel uncomfortable. It made me feel awful when I heard how upset you became, and that is the last thing I ever wanted. You were the first person I met in this fandom. I liked you immediately back then, and I still like you immensely now. You were and continue to be a huge source of inspiration for me. The same goes for my friends and followers who stumbled upon this mess without any context. Well, that covers everything. I'll sign off here. I am low on fire. Now this response truly highlights Lo's apathy. She not only lied multiple times within this post, but also downplayed the situation in order to victimize herself, providing zero evidence to back up her claims, which really just insinuates that you should take this response with a grain of salt, brushing off the situation entirely and trying to frame those with actual evidence as hostile. The reason she does this is likely to discredit those individuals in question, as it'd be more likely for her audience to sympathize with her instead of the individuals involved or go look for the actual information, making the response come off as very manipulative, especially with all the information I gave previously. She seems to focus more on herself, needing to explain herself for the actions that she commits, not even explaining the names, and feeling as if she needs to apologize for those who are only exposed to this situation and not those who are victimized by her. It's either grossly incompetent or grossly manipulative. Throughout the situation, she seems to follow by this, putting the blame on other people instead of herself, trying to avoid accountability, which is the main reason why people think she is irredeemable, simply because she is not willing to acknowledge or accept the fact that she is in the wrong completely. Claiming people should focus on the facts while not being able to accept the facts herself, it is very hypocritical and very manipulative. This situation is more than she paints it out to be. Clearly, she is trying to control the narrative by manipulating her audience into believing that she's the victim and everybody else is overreacting, which is completely false because she's victimizing individuals simply because she can't understand their boundaries, which is an overreaction. Throughout the situation, she is nothing but a hypocrite, a manipulator, and overly obsessed of the individuals that she is inspired by. A grown serial liar that is willing to jump hoops just to prove a point that isn't logically sound. While in the middle of editing, Lo would continue to message me on my second channel. But I didn't react badly. She's spreading things about me. You sent images of yourself, assaulted several people, and lied to your audience. Yes, you did. Ver isn't spreading anything about you because he's providing evidence, whereas you're offering nothing. Lying to me won't get you very far. Not me, not anyone else, especially not when the evidence is right there. The evidence is false. Plus, it doesn't include my side of the story and what she told me before. Your version of the story isn't relevant because you hurt people. Kids, Lo. You hurt kids. If the messages are false, prove it. She would later send me a follow request, which I would accept and follow back. I would direct message her on TikTok, and here's that conversation. Hi, pretty sure you can send images, so could you send the proof I've been asking for? Sorry for any potential spam of visits to your profile. I'm just looking for clips to add to my video, showcasing creators and their content, and everything else. Okay then. Oh wait, sorry. I thought you were one of those accounts that wanted to steal my personal information. I'll send it to you right now. Sorry about the confusion. Thanks. Well, when I went to talk to Pip, he started telling me this. It's really hard to figure out what the account is, but I'll still use them. Anything else? For now, just that. That's alright then. Get better soon. Thanks. Within this conversation, Lo gives me 2 images of Pip apparently DMing her, though I'm not inclined to believe the legitimacy of them. One, because we don't really see that it's Pip's account, and it could just as well be an alter made by Lo, which I will keep into account considering how much Lo lies. The second reason is because when I ask for Lo to provide more screenshots, she doesn't, despite the fact in her response she accuses the other individuals within the document of insulting her throughout the conversation. Vera's document provides those direct messages while Lo doesn't, which is very concerning, despite the fact that this conversation was about her proving her innocence. Speaking of which, if she was innocent and those were out of context, she would have provided that context. And what really reels us in is the fact that she's been accused of using alt accounts to stalk other people before. So her using alt accounts to frame Pip as being malicious isn't out of the question.